Hi everyone, you're watching Jana FX, and in this video I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week. But first of all, let me introduce the sponsor of this video, simplefx.com, which offers Forex and cryptocurrency CFDs trading. You can see this site right now on my screen, and the links to simplefx.com you can find in the description under this video. Okay, so now technical analysis, first of all, want to say that this week was just incredible. It was possible to make between 200 and up to 800 pips. That was very possible. So I'm saying between 200 because I did actually have some trades. I'm back in the game. But as I was saying in previous video, it's not very aggressive for me right now because I'm still kind of busy with things around me. So that's why my result was around 200 pips profit, but it all depends, as I'm saying, how you trade and what your stops, trailing stops and the profits you would place. It was possible to make up to 800 pips. So unfortunately, my trades this week I was placing with my expert, and I had only small amounts of profits. But if I would be watching actually the market and would do it manually, the result would have been just absolutely great this week. So it wasn't too bad anyway for me. I hope you also had good results, guys. So okay, let's just have a look what trades I had, what was possibilities, and what I will be looking for this coming week. So okay, and what do we have this coming week? Of course, there would be some news for pound. There will be some news for Australian dollar. So and there will be some news for American dollar, of course. So don't forget about the calendar. You have to make notes, of course, in the diary. What to look for. There would be not as many news for euro. And so what? Okay, so we're starting with euro dollar as usual. You can see it's 1 hour chart, and this is what previous week. Remember, we had it here, and this is what I was telling you again. So it's a little bit of how to look at possible trades, right? The entry points. We're looking what I'm looking at. This is where I said I will be waiting for any consolidation. We were expecting some news for euro, and this is just you can see it's created a very nice and beautiful pattern triangle. So how it started, again, watch the video about how I trade triangles, because it looks like maybe some of you don't know how to do it and the way, so you would see and understand. So I'll just try a little bit remind how we look at it. You see, when on Monday, that's what I'm saying, usually Monday for me is a watching day, because when something like this, unknown what's going to happen and what it's going to create, where to get into the trade if I'm not into the trade. So I'm looking for pattern, right, or wherever, any consolidations. So on Monday, you see it's created a top. So previously we already had bottom, we had top, or a little double top, let's say, and it's created a bottom here. And on Monday we have a now top. So that immediately gave me a possibility to draw the levels. You see, one level using the tops and one level to using the bottoms. So, and without even seeing this, I already had in mind that it's going to be triangle. And also, of course, if it's a triangle, and it's possibly will be consolidating, staying in that before a news event, right? So we were expecting the news last week. So that's exactly what happened. You can see, and again, just like with the strategy, usually two tops, two bottoms, and we're waiting for creation. I usually wait for creation the third, either top or bottom. So wherever I have at least three tops or three bottoms, then I would be expecting that the third, another on the opposite side, will be breaking, will be trying to break, right? Or it might possibly create another third bottom or top, and then we'll be looking for breaking the fourth bottom or top. So more understandable. One, right? We have two, and then it's created three, third bottom, still two tops and two bottoms. When you expect, so the third will be still created. So it wouldn't be trying to break yet, not just yet, because it could be false breakout, so it wouldn't go for trades until it's created third. So here it's created a third bottom, and it's even created a kind of third top. which was trying to break out here, but you wouldn't go for this trade. That's what I'm trying to point out. You wouldn't go for any orders in here because we were expecting news next day. That's quite important not to get into this. I mean, it would be still profitable if you would go into this and just protect yourself for stops below, right, the triangle area. So it could be, but it would be unnecessary, right? So like unnecessary risk, let's say. That's how I see it. That's how I usually do. So you see, and this is what happened the next day. We had a very good breakout. It's very narrow. It's was sitting right in here. You go, it's a 1 hour chart. You go on the 15-minute chart. You will see it's a very nice little channel. So it's kind of like another confirmation that it should be a good move. So, and this is what happened. So of course I didn't get all the way because I was saying when I'm using my technical, when I'm using my EA, usually I place very small take profits about 10 pips, then it's half positions closing, and then the rest of it goes by trailing stop. Usually I place about 20 to 30 pips, depends. Because I'm just coming back into the trading again, live trading, I'm placing very small pips. I don't want to risk it. And also I can't watch the market full time at this moment because I'm saying I'm a bit busy with out of internet things going on. So that's why I didn't get all of this, but you can see it was about 150 pips movement, so it's a very good movement. So this I'm saying, it depends how you protect yourself. You could catch at least 100 pips on this. I got just a little bit on that movement, and then it took me out by the movement back, and then I just didn't go for any trades because Friday and was a bit busy. So I'm saying, okay, so but that's how you look at it. This is how you get looking for entry points, okay? So, well, the way I do it. So, what I will be looking for this week is, of course, it's sitting here right now and just as usual, waiting for any consolidation. It's pretty much in the middle between those two levels, so we can see still an uptrend, right? So we do expect it to continue the way up, but because it's in a quite wide range, so it could be, of course, it can go up, it can go down, it can go up again, so quite wavy with corrections. So at this moment, just waiting again for any pattern. So give me the opportunity to get for trade. It could possibly, it's looking like maybe like previous week we had head and shoulders, but it was a little bit smoother previous week, right? This week it wasn't very smooth because of the news. It's very sharp. You see it very sharp up. So we have a height, one top, and we have a second top. So it does look like it might be possibly head, might be possibly shoulder. So it could possibly a little bit run up again if they open on Monday and running on Monday, opening on Sunday for some of you. And then possibly it might have a correction and went down. So it could possibly be, but you need to be careful because it's very, very sharp around here. So it's very, very hard to find the neck. So it could be neck right here, then it wouldn't give you too much, right? It might run, it actually might be running right to this level if we would continue, for example. We could to see. So it could possibly be something like that. I wouldn't draw it because it's not very nice to do that. We need to see a little bit more because it also could be stopped by this level, like a little bit straight here. So for example, what I'm trying to say, from here, yes, it could possibly go a little bit, maybe creating a little bit of the shoulder, and then it could go maybe right to here. So it's about 100 pips, which is not too bad, but the point is where to enter. It's very hard here. If it will just jump like this and then start to drop, you wouldn't be able to get into it, or it would be a bit too risky for me, for example. But of course, we can expect it possibly can even go up to 60 pips down to this is a correction, right? Is a correction, possibly. So, and but more if it's let's say if it will be expecting head and shoulders, so this does look like a neck. Also, it's quite we have the shoulders from the previous pattern, so it's around this area. So you see, it could possibly jump a little bit and then go down just to here, and this is only about 40 pips. So you can see the risks. This is what could be. So for me, we'd better probably see here a little bit more of the consolidation, like a nice a straight channel around here on Monday. So if it will create something like that, then I would be looking for possible entry points for it. Well, at the same time, again, it can be maybe triangle. So it's all depends what it's going to be. So this is what I will be looking for. Again, just as usual, any consolidations. And also another thing I wanted to mention, we'll go on a monthly view and see, because remember I was saying to you that that part does look very similar to this part. And well, we can see, and I was talking about it, so it's running like this. I was telling about you a very long time ago, but I was thinking one thing is what can move market to go down back, right? Because right now it looks like all good for euro, and American dollar is not very good news, so it's pushing euro up, and then I was looking, and you see here what happened like previously in those years. The market started to drop, you see, sometime October, November, and we are right now in about the same time. And the first bell, I was thinking what could happen October, November to try to turn it around. It's just a thought. Right now I'm in Spain, so I'm like listening some news, and you know, in Spain they're expecting a referendum. The Catalonia, I think Catalonia, correct, is trying to separate from Spain, and I think this could be, and it's going to happen in October, I think 1st of October or something. So I think that could be the one of the bells which can make euro not very good effect on the euro, right? So that could turn around euro. So I think this is one of the things which can happen. But also I'm not following just all euro news at this moment, so I don't know what else out there happening and what can happen. But I was just listening the news here in Spain, and I thought, okay, because every time something happens in Europe like that, you know, it's a really big deal, I think, especially for Spain. So if that's what happened, if it's we'll try to split, it might affect euro. So just a little thought for the future. Right now we are still in September, and as I'm saying, it does still look like it's continued its way in that channel, right? And we still have enough room September to go right to here, and then we will have, if we will have something like that happens, then it's a good chance to try to turn around. But it's just, we will be looking at it in the future. So it's just a little bit thought how we really need to listen and not forget about all of these political events happening in the world. So, but as for now, as I'm saying, we're just waiting for any consolidation just to go for our small trades. Just I'm saying again, I would be placing pending orders both directions, even though yes, euro is going up by the look of it, right? Everything tells us that it is an uptrend channel, but there still will be corrections. That's why there is always possibilities to catch good moves both directions. Okay, a little bit too long on euro dollar, but I thought I will point it out because right now I have it in my head, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So now going to look at pound dollar. And so here pound had a very good move, and again, it's not like unexpected, just as we thought what could happen, because pound was getting like what it was previous week. It was very close to that level. That's what I was saying to you. It's got very close, but I was saying we would have to wait any consolidation, either that level, right, or going down a little bit to that level. And I draw it using the previous movements here. Remember around here. So that's what I was expecting. So here I had pending orders too. I didn't catch all the movement, unfortunately, again, because I had very small take profits. And but if I would be watching it, look at this, the movement was like nearly 300 pips, like 280 pips. So it's like clean 200 pips was quite possible to get with a little bit different way of placing the stop orders, trailing stops, let's say. I was using trailing stop. It's very small. I'm using one. So so that's how the benefits of, if you can watch actually the market during the day. If you can watch it daily, then you can get very good trades. And the entry points here we are. So we had this bottom, remember, and another bottom. So it was still kind of, as I was saying, it still was sitting in the downtrend channel, right? But at the same time it was going up, and I had this uptrend channel already before, so that's what could have possibly happened. So either breaking that level and continue up. So also using the Fibonacci levels, it could have stopped at any levels like 78 or 61 level, right? Or it's actually went a little bit higher than that, but still didn't reach the top level. So at the same time, of course, while we were still here, it could have just turned around, and we had cross of the levels. And again, on a smaller chart, you see it. So I'll show it to you in a bigger one. So we had a cross of the levels, and we had a very nice, you see, on Monday, for example, wouldn't go for anything because it was a little bit too far from that, little bit. And little bit far from this, but when it's come down to this level, it's created very nice channel. You go on the 15 minutes chart, you'll see it's even better, right? Long and very nice smooth channel. And that's it. So channel system, pending order down here for sell if it will go and decide to actually turn around and actually stay in the downtrend channel, or it's broke and it's actually continued, it even broke that level and continues all the way up, very close getting to this now. So it's kind of trying to show and tell us, so that would be the entry point, right? And that was possibly for the second entry point. So that's like little channel or top up. So it depends, right? Now it's kind of trying to show us that, I've come out from the downtrend channel, right? So it's trying to show it did come out and trying to stay in this uptrend channel. So at the same time, so what we can see possibly now it's slowed down again, so it's usually waiting for any consolidation in here, and it could be correction, so it could turn around or it could continue going up. So there is still another level here, so I wanted to point it out because we had previously tops around here, so it could possibly maybe break it and be stopped by these levels, right? So it could be possibilities, and especially will be news this coming week. There will be news for pound, so need to like bear this in mind. So as I'm saying again, and we do have looking like three. We have 1, 2, and the third top, so it's as I'm saying, it could be possibility of turning back, right? So well, depends what the news are going to come. So with pound, possibly I will be waiting for any consolidation before the news event. So I don't think I will be going into the trades, placing the trades before the news. I think I would wait for the news events and see how it will consolidate, and then I will be making a decision if I will go for trade at the news. So that's how I'm going to look at the pound dollar. So right now you can see where it is. Probably, I don't know, before the news it might come a little bit higher to that level and then consolidate around here. It could possibly, of course, consolidate around here too. So, but as I'm saying, I think I would be just waiting for the news events happening because it had a very, very big movement previous week. So, okay, and of course, don't forget, if it will start to move down, don't forget to use Fibonacci levels and see where it could possibly, the down little correction, where it could possibly go, and at which level it might be stopping. And because here you see it's very empty, it's a very big distance, so I will be using the Fibo and see if it will maybe have a correction and maybe slow down around any of the Fibonacci levels. I'm not going to draw it right now, just bear in mind when you will be looking at the entry point. So that's what I would do, and you can do the same. Okay, so now we're going to Australian dollar. Finally, Australian dollar again. We had news. I was telling you about it, and it will be news again this week, and it had its big movement. So where would be the possible entry points for Australian dollar? I didn't go for Australian dollar trades because I was looking for euro, pound, and some other pairs I'll show you. So that's why Australian dollar I decided to leave out of the view. Here it was the previous week. Remember, I was saying to you, waiting for any consolidation around those levels, any levels, and finally, you see how it was previously, nothing like to look at, but for this week, you see on Monday, it's created quite nice around the level, didn't go too far from it, so it's created something like, again, like a little pennant or something you can say. So this is where it could be your entry point, right? So it went up, it's still, again, consolidated around this level, so it could go either here, for example, or possibly to just make it something like that, and using this depends which day you would go for it, because Australian dollar is also trades during American session, also Australian session, Asian session. So you see the movement started at Asian session. So it could possibly be you could have choose, for example, that channel which is a little bit wide but still around our previous level. So it could have been something like this. You would have possibly could go into this trade and just sit in there just like this, also continue, right? So it could possibly be you would be maybe a little bit scared. Oh yes, it's still sits around here but not dropping below that level, right? The previous level. That's why I didn't like to draw this too much, because I would leave it like here. For example, if you would go into the trade here, so you would still waiting it's around this previous important level and it didn't break it, right? Because your stop would be below that level, because this is where we had originally our channel and entry point, if it would be around here or here somewhere. So you would have your stop, because I'm pointing out right now, spending a little bit more time on stops because a lot of you are asking about where to place the stops. So that's what I'm saying. It depends how big is your channel and how big the profit you're looking for. So in the channel like this, you see your stop would be below the channel, so below the pattern you are getting in. So if it's like that, so you have stop below around here somewhere. That's why you don't panic when you have what you call a pullback or something, so a little bit of correction, let's say. So yes, you are in the trade, then it goes down, you're in a losing trade, but do not panic, don't jump out yet. You need to see where you get in, what you were looking at before to go into the trade. You see, that's how I look at it. This is where my stops are. It's always out of the levels, but as I'm saying, if it's very wide, then you have to calculate, and of course don't forget about money management. If it's such a big one, you would expect the market to go at least to that level, to next level, or even higher. You're waiting for a big movement. So that's how it could have worked for some of you. And again, if you would be getting even from somewhere around this area, and right to here it's about 60 pips, and even up to the top is about 100 pips. So it's slightly more than 100, but about 100 pips possibility of the profit could be. Okay, so don't need this right now. To be honest, that one is also don't need. I'm leaving all the levels all again, and on the bigger picture you can see it's finally reached one of the trend levels. You see, previously we had a triangle, remember, it's broke out from it, and we have an uptrend channel here. So it's very close now. It's broke one of the important levels, this, and also now very close to this uptrend channel, right, level, which we do know it could be a little bit low, could be a little bit high, so plus minus around here. And with the news coming, of course, what I would wait for example, if I would think to go for trade, I don't know if I would be, is for any consolidation. Again, before the news events happens, because right now you see it's created a little double top in here and turned around, but for example for me didn't give anything. So like here when it went up, it's nothing to get into the trade, because I do like a little bit more. It doesn't look like a pennant, doesn't look like any channel, just a little double top, and that's it. And it's just back down to this little level. So I would think maybe before the news event it might just sit around this level, consolidate around this. Maybe we'll create something between those two levels. It's a very still a bit wide distance in here. You see it's about 40 pips. So again, would have to bear in mind if we'll be looking for any break in that level, or going up, continuing the way up, or breaking that level and going down, right? So just waiting for any consolidation. So you see around this, but just as what I'm trying to say, if it will create a very small channel or anything here, then don't forget that this level could be a stopping point for it, right? It could be stopping. It might stop the movement. So it did. You see how it's here. It jumped a little bit, but it was still stopped by it. So it's not nothing. Nobody would ever tell you, could it be a stopping point again? Will it break it and actually continue the way up? So that's what I'm saying. If it will sit between those two before the news event, then it will give you one idea. If it will just sit around this level, then just bear in mind about that this could be a breaking stopping point. Also, if you would look on the 4-hour chart, this does look like just a one top. So it could possibly, that's what I'm saying, it could possibly sit in here and could possibly be a second top. So if it will be stopped by this, it will be second top. And then possibly it could be entry point from here for sell. So you see, that's very hard to say right now, but this is what I see. This is how I would look at it. So that's with Australian dollar. Now we're going to dollar yen. Okay, dollar yen, for me, it was very messy for all of this time. You can see it's nothing was previous week for like how I would go for trades. I wouldn't go for any trades. I mean, yes, that's what I'm saying to you. We have a very important level, and for some maybe could have been an entry point for sell, which could make very good profit too here. But for me, it was nothing. I mean, it's like very nice 200 pips drop from that level. Yes, but not as much for me. That's why I was out. And what we see here, yes, it's going down. Even here we had like a little, remember, double bottom, so it was expectation maybe to like break a little bit and continue a little bit to have a little bit of recovery, more recovery, correction, but it didn't even reach, well, let's say like a neck area, one of the important areas, and just got back to this level, and you see broke it and went down. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, it could have been possibly, but nothing for me. I wouldn't go into the trade, so I didn't feel any, didn't see any possibilities for me to go in. And now, okay, with dollar yen, there will be news for dollar. Okay, bear in mind again. So what I can see right now, yes, possibly it's broke all these little levels, and it possibly can go continue all the way to get to the border of the uptrend channel. At the same time, can see it can actually possibly break and get into here. So if we go on the monthly chart, what possibly I can see, maybe again a little bit of, you see we have one top and we have that's not what I wanted to do. We have that top and we have another top, so I could roughly draw this level just to see that it could possibly create, maybe can go down, I don't know, that's what I'm saying, maybe it will stop here and then create another little top. So it could be something like a triangle again, see, or maybe it will just go all the way down, which would be a bit smoother, right? Just looking ahead again, going down a little bit here and then possibly turn around and then again be stopped here, and then so that's what could possibly be this area. Let's say the movements of the market could be around this possible area. It could be because we had an uptrend before, and this might be a kind of pattern. Well, I guess it's because the uncertainty again with dollar, with what, North Korea, we have well, problems right now, so it's affecting American dollar, you see, with danger of with anything that I'm saying. That's why dollar is going down, I believe, with all this uncertainty, what is happening out there. So that's what I see. This could possibly be something like that, and it's just looking a little bit too ahead, say. So I'll leave this, just to bear in mind what to look at. So because of this expectation that possibly it might just continue go down, this I'm saying that at this moment for me there is nothing here. Again, I will be just waiting for anything again, for creating for any channels. It just doesn't want to do anything like that. It just moves slowly, ups and downs, a little bit down here. See, like not very nice movements for me, let's say, for my way of trading. I don't really like the way it moves. So, and even here, it's again, you see, it's nothing here. Just it's a little bit far from here, stopped, and as I'm saying again, because it was a little bit chaotic, let's say. See, it was going down and up, changing it, down again, a little bit up, down again. So I don't feel like I want to go for this, you know. Even say, oh yes, it does look like it's going down, I don't want to risk and go for it. So I don't think I will be trading dollar yen this coming week either. If it wouldn't give me anything better than what it gives me right now. So that's, from my point of view, I'll just wait again for any consolidation, maybe go back to this level a little bit, because there is nothing really here to catch it. You see, it's broke that bottom already here. You see, it's broke it. Maybe it will come back a little bit and create something around here, then I would look at it. But at that point, there is nothing I would like to do about it. Okay, that was dollar yen. Dollar CAD was also absolutely amazing. Just was perfect pair to trade all these months. It's a shame I didn't trade, but now I was also in. I had a good trade for dollar CAD this week. It was just so predictable. It's just unbelievable. And we are looking at, again, that's what I'm saying, if there are other pairs where you have such good points, then why would I go and trade dollar yen if it doesn't give me anything good? And I have like dollar CAD, it's like picture here, like just go and go for it, you know. It's obvious. Or like we had with euro dollar and we had with pound dollar. So if you have other pairs which are a bit better, don't go for pairs where you want don't like what you see. You're not sure. That's how I do it. That's what I'm saying. I prefer mostly euro dollar, and I look for other pairs. If I see anything good, I go for those trades. If I don't see, I'd rather to miss a good trade on other pairs if I'm not sure than to be in a bad trade, you know. That's how I feel it. So look at this dollar cut, so predictable. Remember from that drop, it went back down into the channel, and that's how I was telling you, the channel looked like quite strong because it did come back right into it, and waiting for any consolidation, started to consolidate. And look at Monday. So I didn't go for these trades. I did draw it to you that you could take if it is, I'm saying, if it would be a little bit more. I'm going on 15 minutes chart because it's very visible on the 15-minute chart. As I'm saying, I wasn't watching all the week the market. So, but here you see, look on Monday, it's created like a little bit of correction of the downtrend, right? A little bit correction inside the channel. You see, it didn't get out. It wasn't messy. It just very nicely created that correction, and then it's created another little channel inside it. So we have a double cross here. See that crossing this level. So that's one of the good signs of the breakout here. So of course, pending orders could have been from that level to buy, just in case it will turn around, and at the same time buy sell order go down, right? So it did drop. It didn't continue its way, right? So you could, for example, for me, I could have protected myself. So okay, it didn't go. I would have probably just come out around here. Would be a little maybe profit, a little bit maybe it's just would have been no profit, break even. So what's next? It's created another little channel. So this is where it could possibly be a next right movement. You see how it did. So first a little bit breakout here, slow down around here. So maybe protect yourself and then go for this trade. So it still continued. You see again down to about 50 pips, but down to what again to this channel. But there were news. Remember, I was telling you about the news, so that's what I was waiting for. I was watching how nicely it's prepared it, and before the news, it did again. It went down, didn't break it just yet, right? So the market wasn't sure should it continue the way down or maybe it should have turned around. And it had a little bit of correction, so it wasn't a big movement. Little correction around again our trend level of the downtrend. So perfect. This is just a perfect picture. You see, so I could draw these levels and to see what's before the news. So this is how the market prepared very nicely before the news event. And then you see, look at this. It just had a huge drop and then had a little bit of consolidation, very small consolidation, and just continues away down. And now it has a little bit of correction right now. So that movement is like what, 300 pips something. Yeah, 320 pips. Look at this, like 320 pips. This is just amazing. I didn't get all the way again. No, I only got this part. I didn't continue all the way because I wasn't able to watch it again, once again. But it was, I mean, it's like, it's a shame I didn't continue with the trade. My EA just took me out again with some bits of profit out of this. But if I would be just watching it, this 300 pips easily would have been in my pocket. And you see how easy it is. It's nothing hard. I'm saying when you see something like this, it's perfect. So now what? Right. Okay. So now what? We have again news for American dollar. I don't remember. I think we don't have any Canadian news anymore. I'm not sure about it. I think no. Just need to check out. Definitely pound news, Australian news, American dollar. I think there is no Canadian news. So that's why it could possibly be a bit of the correction recovery time for dollar cut. So possibly again depends. I'm saying to you guys, all depends on what's the news around America. Just watch it and see. Anything can happen. Politically. So here we had, you see that very nice double bottom was created, right? So it was giving us an idea it should continue, have a recovery finally. But I was telling you, always never 100% be sure. No, not even 90. Like it's always could be 50-50. It could go up, it could go down. So that's what you see. This is what happened. It's actually tried to fool us, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to recover, but then it's turned around. That's why you always watch for consolidations, for patterns, and listen the news. That's all. That's how you do it, and then you wouldn't be in trouble, right? Okay, well, at least less trouble. Something to try to cover your loss if you did get into something. So right now I have you see this last level here. So on the bigger picture, right? What do we see on the bigger picture? It does look like previously I thought that would have been a shoulder head and would be another shoulder, so kind of roughly like a broken shoulder. But now it's more looking like maybe possibly it's a double tops, and this is the shoulder, right? One shoulder, and possibly here could be another shoulder. So that's what I see. It is 1/3, right? So what I can see is possibly depends again. What's the American news? What's the Canadian news? Could be it could be possibly a recovery and possibly getting like the shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower, maybe it will be stopped at this level. So it's quite possible, right? And then back to turning around, creating a shoulder. So that's what kind of I would be concentrating on to looking at in the future, right? For dollar CAD. So right now here I see could be correction. So I would rather to see that to go down to this level and do give me something around here. Now we are out of this channel. I'm not removing it yet, just to see where this correction would go, because yes, I would like it more to go here and do around this area more, because I feel that is a bit more stronger because of that bottom out there. But at the same time, it can still come back into this channel again. Who knows? It could be, but I mean, it's broken, but just in case, so we will see. At the same time, you see it's a 4-hour chart. There is also like a little bit of the shoulder and a little bit of the head looking pattern. Could be possibly, so it could go to around this area. Maybe it will create something around here, or maybe a little bit closer to this channel again, and then could possibly again movements could be back into here, or if it will might be ignore it and go. If it will ignore it, then I would remove these levels. Right now I don't want to remove them because yes, it moved away, but it still didn't reach that level, right, the bottom level. So I hope you follow me, you understand what I'm trying to explain. This is a 4-hour chart. It's a big chart, so you go on a smaller chart just to see what is it going to do. Okay, so possibly this I'm saying is it could possibly it's created a little bit of correction after like one drop, a little bit of correction, right? Next drop, a little bit of correction. So of course with opening Sunday, Monday, it could just to have this and then just continue drop next to that level. I mean, it's possible, and we do have about 140 pips. So yes, it's quite possible, but it's not what I could do. Just to see, it's not as strong. You see, I can't again get to where to draw this line to see in what kind of downtrend channel it is, because we do have that little one, and I could possibly try to change it to using that bottom and make it a little bit wider now. See, something like that again, just because it's now bigger. So you see, something like this. So I'm using like that, these tops. And there is nothing here. That's what I'm saying. There is no other tops in here, and I have only one bottom. So two tops in here and a little bottom in here. So it kind of stopped around this area. So it's a bigger chart again. So it's a daily chart. So I can do this, but I don't need it right now. It's just going to be too messy on the screen. You see, that's why I don't do it. And if I'll go on a smaller chart, I will also don't have right now to pick it up, right? So could possibly be this bottom to use it and draw it, and then it would be a little bit which I call it a little bit, so there, if I would draw something like this, then it would be a little bit wider downtrend channel. So, but still not enough. You see, if I'll draw it a little bit more like here, it's not very symmetrical. So that's why I don't want to do anything like that right now. We'll just need to see what is going to be happening with this movement. Where is it going? What's going to do? So, and then it would be a bit better picture what it's trying to get a new channel, or is it still going to try to go back to this area? Okay, so, and as I'm saying, on Monday, Sunday, Monday, it could possibly be a little bit more straight. Or as I'm saying, it could continue a little bit, maybe it will a little bit continue, go and try to get to this area. So at this moment, it's very hard to say. It's a bit of a correction at this moment. Of course, after such a big drop, it has a little bit of a correction. Okay, so that's my view on the dollar CAD. Okay, we're going to euro pound. Okay, euro pound also, I didn't have any trades, but it does what we expected. The first signs of the downtrend we had head and shoulders, and you can see, just as I was saying, I'm expecting slow continue the downtrend at least to our channel, right? So it's in the channel kind of right now. So slowly, just like slowly it was going up, so slowly expecting it to go down. So that's what it's doing right now. I didn't want to go for it because I'll tell you, you know that I do really like a little bit of patterns. I do really like about a bit better channels. And here was not very much for me. For example, like on Monday, it did went up a little bit. So, well, could have drawn something like this, but it's, this is like something like that. And to wait for a breakout of this, it was very close to that level. But it's not, I don't know, I just didn't like the way here was a bit better for me. See, it was around like the previous week. I've shown it to you that if it would be a little bit more, maybe to that area, a little bit higher, then probably it would be a bit better to go for it. Because I was worried that it can be stopped by either this level or by that level, because it, just as I warned you that I don't expect big movements. So what was that movement? So you see about 60 pips. So that's what I was saying to you. The movement's about 50 to 60 pips. And it is exactly what's happening. You see, it's about 60 pips down, about 50 pips up, and probably about now 50, 60 pips down. But you see, it's not creating, it does walk around the channels, and it's not creating something like really, really nice for me, like nice channel or nice pattern. So a little bit wavy. You see, it's like went up, down a little bit, and up and down. Well, the news reaction went up and then dropped again. So you see, it's around this level, just as expected. But I'm saying, it's kind of like maybe you do know you have those signs of the drop, but I'm trying to be a little bit more safe, or maybe far too safe. Maybe I should be go a little bit but riskier. And well, so I mean, well, I pointed you out the previous week. So again, here what it can do, just like we did here, a little bit consolidation when jump up. So could be a little bit again, should possibly will be doing the same. Like a little bit consolidations, maybe we'll go up a bit, again we'll be stopped by either of these levels, then some movements back, and then continue the way down. So that's what I see with Euro, but for me, I don't want to go for it. So also because well, there will be news for pound, and we can see how huge the movement was in here, and now with pound news, anything again can happen. So it might turn around. So that's why I feel it's a little bit, with Euro pound is probably going to be the same again, up and down, probably not these big movements. So, okay, so this is with Euro pound. So, I mean, what the view is, again, is in here, what I see is we'll continue slowly way down with a little bit ups and like bit corrections, again 50, 60 pips, but need to be just a bit more careful to see what's going to be with the news on pound. There will be news for pound, so of course it will affect Euro pound also movements, but any of those levels, consolidations around them, and possible entry points. Okay, so now we're going for gold, and with gold I had also a little bit of trade. One trade I had on the buy, and so not huge movement for me, not much, but still a little bit of profit. So because I'm thinking to trade a little bit more of gold, to be honest, so I thought I will try to get as much as possible to try to trade gold. Of course, if it will give the good entry points. So let's see what happened. You see on Monday. On Sunday, it's actually jumped with the open in the market, and of course, the first thing in the head is it should close the gap. So when it's the gap, the first thing you think it should close the gap. But when it's in like some strong trends, like we saw with Eurodollar, it still didn't close the gap. Remember, very big gap, still open there. So I do believe that at one point it should go back and close that gap. But when it's going to happen, as I'm saying to you, with gaps, it's always risk. It closes it, but when, nobody knows. It can close straight away. It can take days, weeks, and even months. Some even years. But usually they do close the gaps, the pairs. And with Eurodollar, I gave you an idea what could happen and how it could go back all the way. Here, so, well, that's the first thing I thought. Of course, I didn't go for the trade with gold. I didn't sell because we did know that it's an uptrend, strong uptrend, right? Like I was pointing out in previous videos. And my thought was it should go down to this level first. So it should close it, and it's very close to the previous level we had. So I thought it will go down, close it, create a consolidation around this area, and then I will look for entry points. So it didn't do exactly what I wanted, just like it usually happens, but it did something similar, right? So it created a little bit of channel in here, even like Monday, Tuesday, and I thought, when is it? It should close it. It should close it. So, and that's why, for example, in this case, I didn't place the orders just yet. I was waiting for it, right? I was waiting for it to close, to try to close the gap, and there was nothing's happening on the market. So I was just like patiently waiting what's going to happen. So finally on Tuesday it went down and it closed it, right? So it's pretty much closed. There's a little bit left here, but with those, with the tops of this candles, you see it's kind of closed it, right? So a little bit here, still a little bit left, but pretty much. So okay. And then it's just come back into channel, jumped out, consolidated a little bit around here, went down again around and still around. So I got it that it could be quite important area for breakout and go for trade. So I went for a buy order here. I didn't get all the way again. It's like 180 pips. So I went down around this area again, quite small profit around here. But on that moment, so I did get into the trade. So that's how I walked out with gold this week. Okay, so I hope this gives you ideas how to walk out and what to look for, and how not to get into some bad trades. You know, always remember about these little things. You see, about the gaps and what's happening. Don't forget, never forget. You have to, with Forex, you have to always be in there, see what's happening. So what's happening now? We're still out this level, right? It's still on top. Unfortunately, I was really hoping that it will continue, of course, and get to this level. But as I'm saying, it not always does what you want. Of course, it might not jump straight away. So it has a little bit of correction now. And of course, I will be waiting for what is going to give me, again, opening of the market, and Monday, what is going to give me around here. We will have any patterns around here, because of course I do still think it will continue finally get here. We've been waiting for it, right from a bottom, one of the bottoms. Will continue around here, but at the same time I probably will be looking at this point, I will be looking again for a possible pending orders buy and sell, because it can turn around. Okay, just here you see why I didn't go for it, because it was a gap, so I didn't go for sell. I was waiting for it to close first, because the gap wasn't huge. I didn't want to risk it, right? So I was just waiting. And also another level here. So in here also again could be gap or anything. I'm not pointing out about the gaps. You always remember that any opening of the markets could start with gaps on any pairs. So, and the first thing is when the gap is, it's possible the market will try to close it quite fast, right? So don't well, have to be always careful about this thing. So right now you see that's it, just waiting what is going to create here. And here again what we do have is it's in the middle, right? We have again 160 down here, and well, quite in the middle, 200, like 260 still about to go up. So possible at least to get maybe 200 or 100 and something pips if it will continue the way up. So that's what I'll be waiting for. At the same time, just want to point out, just in case also, because that's how I get why I get quite often miss huge movements, but getting very small trades, but at the same time preventing from the losses. I would not forget about this area, right? Because it still can possibly create something around here very nice, but it could went down, right? It could be stopped again by any of these levels. So maybe it will be stopped by it. Maybe it will come back inside this channel. You see? So with gold, it could be something like that, right? It could be. So it's not very nicely. It's not very nice. I drawn it, but something like that. It could be possibly. So that's why. Could be protecting yourself. It's still about 60 pips, so possibly if it will be like not very wide, like a bit narrow, something Monday, maybe on Tuesday. I do prefer with gold actually to watch it for a few days instead of one day, like on the other pairs. It could be one day before decide to go for trade with gold. I see it's a bit better to watch for a few days. Depends to see how it behaves. And also it makes quite good movements on with the opening of market, and on Mondays it makes good movements, but at this moment, there is nothing it gives. Right now, it doesn't give anything. So, for example, for Monday trade, I wouldn't go for anything here. There is nothing right now for me. I don't see anything. I need now to watch and see what's going to happen, and also bear in mind the news for American dollar. Okay, I will remove those levels, but just because I don't really like have too much, just bear in mind this, right? So just to see and bear in mind what is it going to be here, where it can go. Which I still think possibly more, if it will create anything and it will go down, probably still would be around this level again, maybe. But don't forget about this area. So it could be a stopping point around this area. Okay, so now we're going to pound yen. Okay, the pound yen, it was very tricky. What here, the dangers were here. Where we were here, right? So that the previous week, so it did look like what I was trying. I'm open to you the 4-hour chart, because you can see here, this is where it opened, right? We had a gap and it's dropped down. And okay, let's go to 1-hour chart. I think it's a little bit better. So, and once again, gap, right? We remember about gaps. So, okay, it's like it's opened with a gap, and it could be good, it could be bad, because okay, you think, okay, maybe it should close like quite fast, but it didn't. See, look, first on Monday it didn't close it, so it went down. So you think, okay, it's also in a downtrend, right? It's going down, but still didn't close the gap. So you think it should come back there, but when is it going to come back? And that's what makes it so tricky, and that's how you can get into losing trades, which you don't want to. We had here, you see, I could draw this level. So because of the downtrend, right, we have a correction, like we do have with downtrends, like it's going down, we have correction, down again, correction, and then you think, okay, it should go down, right, because it's a downtrend. But what happened in here, and we'd have like a double top, right? Okay, double top, one confirmation, then we have correction, second confirmation. You see here, that's why I draw these two levels. So this is where you'd think, this is where the sell, this is where I should go for. But you bear in mind, you still have a gap here, right? So you think, okay, go for it. So here's the danger. You could go for this, depends where you place your stops. This could have been your losing trade. So whole week, this is the one with potential losing trade. I mean, out of all the pairs, you see this is the only one. It's not too bad, but you could have prevented if you would just think, look at the pound dollar, what was happening. Like for example, no expecting of the movement. So you look pound dollar, what does it do? Like when it was happening on Tuesday, you see it was like quite flat, right? Monday, Tuesday was pretty flat, and then it started to move up. So then that's what you think with pound yen. You look, you think the same, that but that happened at night. You see, it happened in Asian session. So it's possibly that you could, if you do trade, and you do trade because it's pound yen, and yen you do trade in Asian session. So this could have been possibly a losing trade, but this is really just a false breakout. So like, fooling everyone like it should continue the way down. So possibly, or just a reaction that it should go down, but you see then it's went all the way up back into here, because you saw that against American dollar it started to go up. So how you could work out here, that's I'm saying I don't trade pound yen, and in this situation it just you see this, I'm saying how you protect. For me, for example, because I do get a little bit of profits and close my trades and place a stop in the safe position, then I probably would get out from here, right, when it's like didn't continue the way, just like I was showing to you in the other pairs. So just probably go out and with little profit, or just break even, and then just to see what's happening with the pound compared to American dollar. And bear in mind there is a gap here, so I would expect when it started to consolidate around this area that it could possibly actually go and try to close at least the gap. So okay, now what we see, it did go, but it didn't close it exactly, so it kind of touches, right, the wings are touching it. So well, at the same time, so you see, you would go for this trade. If you had a losing trade, you could cover your loss with this movement. So you probably just cover the loss, because your stop would be way above this level, right? When you're going for something like that, it's quite wide, but you expect it possibly going all the way to the next level. So so that's what I'm saying. Here it could have been a losing trade, or if you would been a bit well, smart and watching it and less risky, let's say, less aggressive, then you could have avoided. So, but I just wanted to point you out how to look at things, right? How to look around the markets, around what's happening, and don't forget and what to take account to. So, what now we do? I'm going to, you see, I don't need that level anymore. So I'm going to remove that one too. I'm going to leave this one, right? I'm removing that one because I don't need this right now, is it didn't really work well for us, right? So it's fooled us. So now what it does, I have these previous tops, you see in these double tops, which fooled us, right? But this gap, that's what I'm saying, gap helped a little bit to think maybe it will be turning point at one point. So you never can be sure about anything, of course. So that's what I'm saying. Look, okay, on the bigger picture, what we can see here does look like again, right, shoulder, head, and shoulder. So this is possibly a shoulder, right? And it could sit around here a little bit and around this area, and of course it might continue the way up. Just I pointed out before because that also looked like head and shoulders. Remember I was telling you about that too. So, and now it's a bigger shoulders, right? So it could possibly continue, go all the way either to that level, maybe even to get to this level, right? So that's a possibility. So it didn't break it yet, this area. So if it will break that, then I would be considering it should go here. Depends again what would be news for pound. There will be news for pound. So just bear in mind if you trade this pair. So, and here on the smaller picture, again, you see it's kind of in the middle, that little bit slowing down in the middle. You're between this level and kind of that. These two levels around about the same, what about 80 pips and 80 pips, so in the middle. So if you would be looking for smaller trades, of course, in here, would be just looking for a very nice and straight channel. If it will have a jump again either direction, so consolidation around this level, and if it will break, then I would consider that as a head and shoulders. And of course, don't forget about this level protection yourself, and then all the way to the next level, right? If it will go down here, then I would prefer consolidating between these two levels, right? Between these two levels, because it could be just, temporarily come out, consolidate around here, and then go back into this downtrend channel. So that's why I don't remove these levels. I don't change anything. So that's how it stays. Okay, so that's my view on pound yen and all other pairs, guys. So a bit long video again, but I'm just trying to point out what to look at, and how to try to protect yourself to prevent from like bad trades, or cover and the losses and go for better trades. Okay, so I hope it was useful. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you like it, of course, share your friends, wherever, and happy trading, and I see you next week. Bye everyone.